We are live. I think we're live. I think you guys have sound. Hey, Catherine. Happy birthday to you. It's Louisa's birthday, guys. Everybody say happy birthday to her. I would sing the whole song, but I don't have a bucket to carry a tune in, so. Hey, Neela. Woohoo, we're live, yay. Okay, let me play the intro, guys, and we'll get started. Okay, guys, we are getting back to basics. We have tons of new people, people who have never done Cricut before. A lot of you guys are learning still. Some of you are seasoned, so you can help me out answering questions and the mods answering questions. If you know the answer, please help out. But we have a lot of new people, and there are things that they've watched videos, and just like when we all started out, we watched the videos, but did we remember every bit of it? No. It's impossible, unless you have a photographic memory, to remember every little thing. Hey, Susan. Hey, Scrap. So we can't really expect all these new people to remember it. If they watch the videos and they come to the lives, they're going to pick up a lot of stuff, but they're not going to remember it. And that's what we do in the groups. We tell them what they need to do and stuff like that. If they have never watched the videos, then they're totally lost. They don't have a clue. But if they've watched the videos, they're a little bit familiar. And we are there to guide them through the process of teaching them Design Space so that they can go out on their own. And then when they get stuck, they'll come back and ask another question. And that's where we're all at different levels and we're all at different steps. So I wanted to be sure that that we started back at the basics and we covered everything for everybody. And let me see if I can get my chat popped out here. There it goes. I was sitting here clicking the button and it didn't want to. I want you guys to be seen because we're going to be doing a lot in Design Space. So we are going to put that card together and do a couple of techniques, and then I've already done a couple of the techniques, but we're going to do them one more time for people who didn't learn that technique, and then we're going to move on to another one next week. But we're going to continue and pick up next week where we leave off this week with Design Space. So I'm hoping that we can cover it in a 2 to 3 part series, because I try to set the videos up to be about 2 hours in all so that they would be familiar, and then they could come in to the group and ask questions for things they forgot, didn't remember, or didn't understand. So we're going to be covering basically everything in Design Space from start to finish in the next couple of videos with some small projects, and then we're going to jump into fall Halloween projects and start doing some more intricate stuff than we've been doing. Hi, Jennifer. So, make sure everybody says happy birthday to Louise. You guys don't leave her out. Thank you guys for reminding them to do a thumbs up on the video. And if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, guys, please click on that subscribe button and subscribe. Because you don't want to miss anything. You never know what we might come up with. Now, when you open Design Space, tonight you're going to see the scheduled maintenance. I want to remind everybody that's Tuesday, August 13th. That is at midnight Eastern time tonight. At midnight Eastern time tonight, it is Tuesday. So I don't want everybody getting confused on that and not saving your work. So save your work and give them an hour or so, and make sure that you don't have anything unsaved so that you don't lose anything. Usually you won't, but it's always a good thing to save if you've been working on a big project. So let's just pretend everybody's brand new to Design Space and you have opened up your machine and you're in the process of setting it up, and you come to Design Space. The first thing you're going to do, of course, is create your account, because you can't log in without an account. And then when you log in, it's going to look similar to what you see on the screen now, minus the YouTube chat, because that will not be there. Let me just separate you guys for anybody new. You won't see this. You will see all of this. Once you're logged in and you've created your account, you're going to go in here and you're going to go to New Machine Setup. Now you can set up your profile, and you see that my profile is set up. For you guys who are seasoned, who have not set up your profiles, please set your profile up. You may want to share a project in the community, and when you share that in the community, that's what the public button does when you share a project. A lot of people think that if they unmark that nobody can see their project, and they can't, but you can't share it either. So if you leave it on public without the URL at the top of the page, and a URL is this web address up here, without the URL at the top of the page, they can't see your project anyway. But if you wanted to share your project with the community and you wanted to share it, they can come in here and they can search my profile or search for our story and probably pull this up in the Cricut community. And I'll show you a little bit more about that later, but you do need to come in here and set up your profile and set up your new machine. Now I'm not going to go into a great detail on setting up a new machine because I've already set mine up, but I am going to click on it and show you that it's going to ask you to select your machine, be it a Maker, an Explorer, or an Easy Press 2. And the reason that this is here for you guys who didn't know it's here, all you Easy Press guys, there could be a firmware update. You need to plug in your machine and check it. Okay? But if you don't set up your community and you unmark your public, then it will not allow you to share your files with the community, which like I said, we will get into more of that later, but setting up your profile is key. And it's just part of the steps right there. Yes, you need to register and everything. So when you select the machine that you're using, you're just going to select it, and then it's going to give you all of these prompts, guys. It is going to walk you through step by step, and you're just going to keep hitting that continue button until you're finished setting up, okay? And it's going to find your machine, and it's going to look for it. It's going to see if it needs a firmware update, all of that good stuff, but you're not going to miss anything by me closing this out. You're just going to follow the instructions on screen to set up your brand new machine. It's super, super easy, okay? Once you're set up, and you're going to see it's turned off, and it is not turned off. I just exited it. And while that's up there, I just want to make you guys aware. This bar that pops up across the top of your screen in Design Space, if it's orange, you have an issue going on, because it's right there. That's telling me that my machine's not connected, or my browser, or there's something wrong that I need to fix, okay? If it's blue, it's just a reminder. The blue bar is a reminder you need to do something. We had somebody in the group today, I believe it was Linda, and she was like, I keep getting this blue bar and it keeps saying this message and this message. And all it is a reminder. It was telling her that she had an 11 by 16 image, and our max on a 12 by 12 mat is 11.5 by 11.5. So it was telling her to make sure she loaded a 12 by 24 mat. Nothing more. All she had to do was say, okay, I've got a 12 by 24 mat, and it's done. But if you have an orange bar like this, you need to read it, and there's something going on there. And you guys, Jamie, somebody wave at me or throw a funny in there or something if you need me, but I'm pretty sure you guys have the questions handled. If you guys have a question, please type it in all caps so that Jamie and the other moderators in blue there with the little wrenches can see your question and they can help you. And if anybody needs me to stop, somebody type in stop in caps. So, once you've done all of that and you've set up your machine, you've got your calibration. Now the calibration is going to be for your knife blade and for print and cut. Your machine is going to be calibrated when you get it for your rotary blade. If your rotary blade is cutting off, then you want to calibrate it. If it's not, don't mess with it. If your print and cut is printing and it's cutting properly without a big white edge and you have left your bleed on, which we will get to later, you need to calibrate. Otherwise, you can leave it alone. Your knife blade is the only one that you have to calibrate out of the box. Okay? So you can stay out of calibration. It's going to tell you right here which one do you want to do, and this is the only one that's required to use it. You have to calibrate that knife blade to use it. It's going to come calibrated for this, going to come calibrated for this. Unless they've changed it. If they've changed it, Jamie, please let me know. But everything should come calibrated except your knife blade. You have to do that one. So after you've done that, if you have that, your manage custom materials. This is where you can come in and you can add a custom material to your list. I do not recommend changing the presets that are in here, but if you have plastic milk jug that you want to cut and you found a setting that works, you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom of those multiple and you're going to click add new material. You're going to name that material whatever it is that you want to name it. And I didn't type that well, did I? And then you're going to save it. And that's all you're going to do. It's going to pop up somewhere up here at the top and it's going to highlight it for you. And you can see I've done this before. And then you're going to put in the pressure. So if you were using, let's say, this grocery bag at 215 down here and it had the multiple cut off and you had to cut it 3 times on that grocery bag setting, and you went with more pressure, I would say start out doing your test at about, I don't know, 230, 235. You don't want to go up more than 5 to 10 points at a time to test your material. And then you want to turn on your multi-cut. And I would say start at 2 because you know you had to go 3 times down here. So start at 2, you increase the pressure, and then you're going to decide which blade worked best for you. And you're going to select that blade, and then you're going to save it, okay? And then it's going to pop it in right up here. There it is, right there, test tutorial. And I believe that it is sorting them by pressures. It used to be, I could be wrong, I thought it did it by alphabetical order at one point, but now it does it by pressures. Yes, Jamie, perfect. If you change these, or you set this up, if I set this up on my Mac computer, I can go to my phone, or I can go to my iPad. Guess what? They aren't going to be there. It's just like a font. It's going to be per device, and like Jamie said, when we have an update, it's going to revert back. Anytime that they do those, that it reverts back to the defaults. So you don't want to change any of your presets. Create your own. So, and you're not going to hurt Pat if you need to update. Just plug in your Easy Press 2. If it needs an update, it'll tell you, and if it doesn't, you've got nothing to worry about. So once you've done that, you know, I just wanted you guys to be familiar with that, because I know when you get a new machine and you start looking in here, you're going to go there and you're going to think about that. Don't change those custom settings because they're just going to go away when we have an update. Create a new one. And it is per device that you have to do it, just like a font. Unless they changed it. I don't think they have. Because those don't show up in my iPad. So, and then you have your update firmware. anytime your machine is doing something strange or whatever, like a red light, that's the first thing you want to check. Firmware update, because sometimes that will cause a red light. Not always, but usually it is a firmware update, or you've gotten your material jammed, or there's an issue with the machine. If there's an issue with the machine, you need to call Cricut support and they will help you. Okay? Then you have your account details. I'm not going to click on that because I don't want everybody in YouTube land to see my account details, but that's going to take you over to the shopping page, and it's going to show anything that you've ordered, your subscription to your access, all of that kind of stuff is going to show up in there. The credit card you have on file for buying digital images, it will all be there. Linking cartridges. If you have an Explore machine, you have a linking port on your machine. Physical cartridges are few and far between anymore. They don't produce them anymore. I'm pretty sure, Jamie, if that's not correct, let me know. I'm close to my heart, may still have some. But for the most part, everything is digital. You will find some cartridges for sale still, stragglers that are coming behind, sort of like 8-track tapes in the tape industry. You still see them occasionally, but they're not really popular anymore. So if you have cartridges to link, your Cricut Explore machines and your Air machines only link the cartridges. They do not read it, so sticking a cartridge you bought at a yard sale into your machine and thinking that it's going to pull up the images on that cartridge so that you can cut them for free, it's not. It isn't. It's only going to read the serial number on there, and if it has not previously been linked to a machine, it will link it to your machine. If it has been linked to a machine, it cannot be linked to another machine. Your Cricut makers do not have a linking port. There is a device that they sell for linking cartridges. If you only have one or two, generally you can call support and they will link it for you. If you have hundreds of them, you're going to need that device for your maker. Thank you, Jamie. I thought they went digital, but I wasn't 100% sure. I hadn't gone to look with the code. Almost like they did with the Anna Griffins on HSN. Digital card. So, if you find cartridges and you're buying them at yard sales, they're probably linked to somebody's account and they sold them illegally against the end user license agreement, or EULA as a lot of people know it. So, just be aware of that. Then you have your Cricut Access. If you have Access, it's going to pop up here and it's going to let you purchase it or manage your subscription. And it tells me right here mine is good until June 29th, 2020. So if you're ever wondering why is it trying to charge me for something, either your Access has run out or it's not an Access image. So, and then you have settings. Your settings are going to help you with your canvas, and you see that it popped over to the canvas from the main screen, the home screen there, and you can go in there and do a quick change on your canvas. Now I'm going to show you a shortcut here in just a little bit about changing it from the partial grid to no grid. You can see it changing there in the background. I'm going to show you guys a little trick for doing that here later, another little shortcut, but that one is in your settings. I'm going to go back to home. This is our home page. This is where all our Make It Now projects and our projects live. And they do not live on your computer, so you don't have to worry about jamming up your computer with a bunch of files. Here's the legal. Very, very, very important if you're going to be selling. You need to read the terms and the angel policy right here, because just because that image is in Design Space don't mean that you can cut 500 stars or Mickey Mouses and sell them. It doesn't work that way. It has to be using those images on a finished product. So if you want to use make something, but that still does not include your licensed images, like Disney, you don't have a license to sell Disney. If you do have a license to sell Disney, then yes, you can sell it. And if you've had trouble using the code you've gotten from Anna Griffin, call Cricut support and they will help you. I had issue with one of mine too. They will help you with it. That's not a big deal. They are trained to help. So make sure that you read this, guys. A lot of people are saying, well, how can I do this? And they're like, oh, well, you can screenshot it and take it over there. You are probably breaking one of the legal rules in here when you do that. So if you're screenshotting a Cricut image and you're taking it over to have it printed and you're selling it on an object, let's don't do that. Can you do it for your own personal use? Yeah, probably. You're not going to get in trouble for that. But if you're caught selling some of that stuff, it's going to be just like Disney. You're going to get some cease and desist letters. So make sure that you guys are really aware of what you're selling when you're selling it. Now, if it's something that you created 100% and you didn't use any Cricut images and you didn't use any Cricut fonts and you uploaded it in there, I don't know why you would be bringing it into Design Space to export it from Design Space. So if it's something that you created 100% on your own, it shouldn't even be in Design Space if you're taking it somewhere else. So now that we've covered that, you also have your new features, and these are the walkthrough that shows you the new features anytime they have an update and we have new features come in, and we're going to skip that tutorial. Then you have the country you're from, and here is a shortcut to Cricut Help. So if you get stuck on your Easy Press or you need to know what temp to use with the Easy Press guide and things like that, your manuals, your warranties, it's all right there in Design Space for you, everything. You don't have to leave Design Space to shop, to check your account, to get help, any of that. Well, you do, because you see that it's popping up windows up here for me, but everything is right here for you guys. Jennifer, you have a cookie or something stuck. You need to clear your cache. Somebody else was having that issue and they tried my link and it worked after they cleared their cache. So, where was it? Then we have our sign out. This will sign you out of Design Space, which if you're going to be loading up fonts and stuff, uploading, you need to sign out. That way they'll appear when you sign back in. And maintenance may fix that as well. Thank you, Catherine. Yes. And down here at the bottom you have feedback. Something you don't like about Design Space, you're having, or something that you do like and you want to say, hey, is it possible to get this? They don't ever stop working, guys. They're always working behind the scenes to make Design Space better. If you have an issue that it's something that we can't help you with in the group, that it's just the way that Design Space is designed, you don't like the gray color of the layers panel, we can't help you with that in chat. We would love to be able to, but you can leave that feedback right here. And this is not going to fall on deaf ears, because if you post it in the Facebook group, it's just falling on deaf ears. Nobody can do anything about it. This is where it can get something done about it. So this is where you need to leave any kind of feedback that we can't help you with. Yeah, Jamie, exactly. Jamie's got you guys covered on all of your technical difficulties, and Catherine has your mobile, so you guys are pretty much covered. So now let's get into the fun part of Design Space. This is Design Space. When you open it up at the home, these are your projects you will see here, and yours is going to look a little bit different than mine, because I have tons of projects, guys. I have tons and tons and tons and tons of projects. If you're brand new, you don't have a ton of projects. You may not have any projects yet if you haven't been playing and saving your projects. But yours will get there. You'll get projects, okay? So don't worry about that. Then you have Cricut Access. These are all of the Cricut Access projects, Make It Now projects, okay? These are ready to make projects as well. Then you have the top tutorials on YouTube from Cricut. These are Cricut videos. They're rather short and they don't go into as much detail as we do, but you have some short videos there from Cricut. Then they have an infusible ink ribbon. New materials ribbon, so any new materials that are coming out, like these holograph, I haven't had a chance to play with mine, guys, the little dots and the squares and the geometric stuff. I've got it, I haven't had time to do it yet. And then you have your new maker tools, and these are projects that are involved with the new maker tools. If you haven't explored Air, don't worry, I'm not leaving you guys out. When I do my projects, I try to give you alternatives. So then you have cards, you have iron-on, you have your home decor, and down here at the very bottom, what do you see? From the community. Remember I said set up your profile? That's because that's what these are. These are all projects from people who have set up their profile and shared in the community. They're people just like you and I, and they have shared what they have done. And there are just tons and tons and tons of projects in here. And now you can, previously we couldn't, but now you can. I don't know if it, yeah. See, I searched my name. Now everybody that tagged the name April, it's going to pop up with that, but you can see this is my project, this is my project, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine I shared here, this is mine. But you can see when you click on them, and it tells you who posted it, who put it in the Cricut community. So there are tons of things, and now you can search by people's names. And if you set up your profile, yours are going to pop in there too. But you cannot upload anything. Nothing can be uploaded to your project, and then you can share it. So, I mean, here's my stackable snowman. That's one of the first ones that I shared. My photo's not very good. I apologize, but tons of things in there. And try this link too. Now, if you purchase after using this link, I do get a small commission, but so see if that one might work for you as well. Alright, so now that we've covered that and you know what the ribbons are on the main page, and that's what these are called, guys. These are ribbons. Okay? So if you're asking about a project in the Ready to Make project ribbon, that's what it's called. It's called a ribbon. So let's go in and play with Design Space. Right here, you can click at any time and get a new project, and it's going to bring you to a blank canvas. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Linda. So anytime that you click new here, it's going to bring you to a new project. I have nothing on there, but if I had something on here and I wasn't happy with the way it was going, or if it was a project I saved, I can say new project. Boom, here we go with an orange bar. It's telling me something. Remember, an orange bar is caution. A project exists on the canvas with unsaved changes. Do you want to save that previous project or replace it with this new project? If I hit save, it's going to save any changes I had in my project. If I click replace, I'm losing everything on there. Or I can hit cancel and come back and save. Okay? So just remember, orange bar means you have to do something. Something's wrong. Blue bar means it's a reminder. Hey, Roxanne. So then we have templates. Templates are going to help you size up your project. Now, some people like to use them, some people do not. I am one of those who doesn't use them. But if they help you, by all means, please, yes, use those. And they're going to be in different categories. Now you see your orange bar again, now that I've clicked one. I brought the T's in here, but I had an orange bar up there. And what that orange bar says is, it went away really quick, but if you're watching on playback, you can pause it and read it. When I make this project and I save it, that template is not going to open back up when I open it up. My project will be there, but this template will not be there. So if I am doing a men's short sleeve or a toddler's or whatever I'm doing, custom size, when you do a custom size, you need to put in if the shirt is 30 inches across the front, then you know the back is 30 inches across the back. That needs to be 60 inches wide. Okay, and then your height will be just the normal height, but your width needs to include the front and the back of the shirt for your template. What I tell most of the people to do when you're doing this and you've put your project in there and you've sized it to fit on that shirt the way that you wanted it, and then you save your project. When you go and you open this project back up, I'm going to go to my projects and grab that. There it is. I'm going to customize. No template. The template is not going to save. It's the right size. It's the size it's supposed to be. That's the size I had it on that shirt. But I have no clue how I sized that. Did I do a man's? Did I do a woman's? What did I do? My tip for that is that you go in and you do a men's large and then your measurements. It was 63. I'm going to say 0.25 by 31.5 or 4, whatever it comes in. So I've got it marked, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to weld that just so that I know. And I'm probably going to change the color to something that's not in my design so it doesn't go on the mat and accidentally get cut. And then I'm going to save that with that in there so that when I go back and I bring that template back in, if I need it to add something, it's going to size it back down for me. It's going to bring that template in, and then I can say I used a large man's shirt and it should fit and everything be back. But that's the only way I'm going to know what I used to size it and how I sized it, because it will not save that template. That template does not come back. Okay, is everybody with me so far? So that covers templates. Just so you know, you have to, and if it makes it easier for you to see your templates, down here in the bottom right, you can change the template color by clicking on it down here at the bottom right. And then right up here at the top bar, you can choose a color. Okay, and let's say that I want my template to be blue. So that will make it easier for you to see on the canvas. And that's just about all that the template does. Okay? Yeah, it happened to me, and it happened to Jamie, it happened to a bunch of us. So you can change your template color, but again, even if you change the color of your template, it is not going to save with your project. Then you have projects. When you click on projects from within Design Space, it's going to bring you to all projects. Make all the Make It Now projects in Design Space. And then you have a categories, and all categories is where it's defaulted. You can look your projects, your favorites, because if you click on something and put a star on it because you like it, it's going to appear up here in your favorites. And there you go. All the favorites that you saved, there they are. You can do your projects, and you can share your projects from here. And we'll get into that more later. But basically all it is clicking this and clicking that you want to share it on Facebook, just following the on-screen prompts. So you can sort from there, and then you have your all categories again. In case you haven't noticed, you see right here this has a green A, and this one does not. And this one does not, and this one doesn't. This one does, this one does, none here. A green A means it is included in your Access subscription, and it is free for you to cut for as long as you have access. Access is like a library subscription. or a library card. As long as you have a current library card or subscription, you can check out that project and you can use it all you want. But once you get an expired subscription, or you quit your subscription, or you cut up your library card, you will be prompted to purchase any image in your project that you don't own. One time only. So if it charges you $4.99 for a font because you don't own it, from that point on you own that font, and if it's in 75 other projects, it's not going to charge you again to cut it. Just that one time. Once you own it, you own it. If you don't own it, it's going to show you, let's customize. I'm just going to go over and show you guys. I'm going to replace what I had on the canvas. And I hit make it over here. I probably own it. Nope, I don't. And you see right here, $5.97. And I can click, and I'm like, well, what is it charging me for? I thought that was access. I thought I owned that. I can click on purchase. I have not bought it yet. This is what it's telling me it's charging me for and how much, what the tax is. And because I am an Access Premium member, I get 50% discount on Cricut and selected licensed images and 10% off of major brand licensed. So I'm saving $2.99 on this. So I'm really only going to pay $3.20 if I want it. But I have not actually bought it until I come in here and put in my password. When I put in that password and I click authorize, I then own it. But until that point, I don't. So anytime, do not be scared to click on purchase and see what it's going to charge you for. And if you know you've bought that before, contact support. And they will help you. So is everybody with me on this? You can't log in from your iPad. It's frustrating. Kim, remove your iPad app and reinstall it. It should fix that. If you can log in on the computer but not your iPad, just reinstall the app. So we've covered those. Let's go back to new. So that's where your projects are. I hope that everybody understands your access versus non-access and how to search. And I don't know, I may have to cover up chat here just a little bit to show you guys. There should be no, we just got the drop down on this one. If you see a funnel here, you've got filters you can use. So our funnel's gone now that we can search different things. But there's tons of stuff in here, guys, and free. Right here, free. These are all free projects. Okay? Now, some of these that are in here for free may be free for the week, and we're going to get into that in just a minute. So just make sure that when you're cutting something free, it might be free for the moment, but it may not always be free. It changes every week. Yeah, and don't forget, guys, Access saves you 10% off of every single thing you buy at Cricut. Everything. 10% off everything. Our group code only works on materials, tools, things like that. It does not work on anything that plugs in. It does not work on anything digital, and it does not work on Access. So if you're buying digital images like you saw right there, you're not going to get a discount on digital cartridges or anything from the Cricut.com site. The group code is only for applicable items. Nothing that plugs in, nothing digital, and Access gets no kind of discount whatsoever. Access is Access all by itself. Yes, I just showed that, Jennifer, where you got that off. Let me go back over here to all categories. You get 50% off certain. That's the one I just showed. Let's customize. Right here, Jennifer. And I'm going to hit make it. I don't own these items. And you notice right down here at the bottom, says cancel, $5.97 purchase. If I click on purchase, I haven't bought it yet. It tells me a subtotal and my tax, and then my total down here is $320. Right here, promos and discounts. Cricut Access Premium members receive 50% discount on Cricut and selected licensed images, and 10% off of major brand licensed. So if it's Disney, I'm only going to get 10%. If it's Anna Griffin or somebody like that, I might get 50%. And it's going to calculate it. Please don't ask me which ones are which, because I don't know. I don't buy that many of them. So I usually end up designing my own. I'll buy an item here or there, and whatever discount it gives me, that's what I take. Does that answer your question, Jennifer? On the 50% off? It's 50% on Cricut. Anything that Cricut owns, they're going to give you 50% off of. Licensed and major brand gets 10%. You're welcome. That's what we're doing tonight. We're going to make sure nobody gets left behind, guys. Ask your questions. We're not going to leave anybody behind. We want everybody to learn Design Space. So there are all the projects from within. And I'm just going to go back to new so that you guys don't get confused with different images being in there. Next, you have your images. And these are all the 90,000 plus images in Access. Again, everything you see with a green A is included in your subscription. If you do not have a subscription, you will be prompted to buy it one time and one time only to use it. So if you wanted to use this elephant and you didn't own it, you can see purchased. What that means, I have subscribed, I have purchased. I'll show you uploaded and something to pay for in just a moment. Subscribed means that I have access and I can cut that for free. This green A and purchased means I purchased that image, and even if I cancel my subscription, I can still cut this image for free because I purchased it. It's on a cartridge I bought, or something to that effect. So that's what subscribe means. That's why some say purchased, for that reason. Here's our filter here. Oh, our funnel changed, or maybe it's because I'm there. But anyway, if you've uploaded, it's going to say uploaded on it. You can see those uploaded right there. Okay, and that means that's something that you brought into Design Space. They don't own it. Okay. These are your funnels: purchased, free. Let's see if I can find one that I don't own or isn't in my. It's very hard for me to find things to buy. Oh yeah, wait a minute, printables. Always printables that I need. Whenever I'm trying to show you guys, everything is included in what I've got. And when I'm trying to find something, everything has a price. You'll see some free. Now when you see these that have free on there, that means they're either free all the time or it could be free for the week, and I'm going to show you how you can find that out. What's free for the week. I know there's something in here I don't own or I'm not subscribed to. And you notice when you select an image how the green box goes around it. And I'm having a computer issue. It doesn't want to bring that picture in for some reason. Maybe it's not me because the others are coming in. You can select several images and put them in right down here, and then you can insert them into your project. So while you're looking, if you see something that might be a maybe, you can click on it and bring that in. I don't see one right now, guys. Maybe if I search flower. Single word searches are going to work better than, here we go. $1.99. It means I don't own that. There's no green A on it. If I want to use that image, I'm going to pay for that image. So that's how you tell. It's either going to say subscribed, purchased, free, uploaded, or it's going to have a price. So that's how your access works. Everything with a green A is included. It might have a green A and say purchased. That means that it's not access, or it is access and that you have already bought it. It's free for access or free for the week. It's uploaded and you own it, or it's going to say a price. And if it doesn't have a green A and say it says purchase, that means that you've purchased a non-access image. Okay? Is everybody with me? Right, you cannot transfer images, guys. It's very important to sign up and stay with the email that you have signed up with, because anything that you've purchased is linked to that email and it won't be transferred to a new email. You cannot change your email address. Well, you can, but you can't change it on your login for your account. Not at this time. So while we're in images, if you look across the top, here is our search bar to search for the images. If you want to search for a circle, and I know that sounds kind of crazy, but a circle isn't always just a basic circle, because there are different kinds of circles. There are circles with layers and different things in Design Space. So you can type in the word, and usually just the word, or you can type in circles. It will change the search. Sometimes you'll get more, sometimes you'll get less. Multiple word searches do not do well. Like a circle with a flower. You can see that now I don't have circles. I've got everything but. Used to it would just error and say there was nothing found, but it's getting better. Next to that you have your filter, where you can filter out if you're looking for 3D objects, background and textures. Single layer, multi-layer, all of that is in here. And then you can make your grid smaller or larger so that you can see more images. And I like to leave it on large for you guys so you can see. Categories. Categories are going to open up, and remember I said free for the week? Right here. So if you don't have access and you want to cut some of the new stuff, there's nothing free for the week in there. Did they? Oh, I had something in my search bar. That's why. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, here we go. So everything that you see here is free for you to cut for the week. And there are many, many, many people who say, oh, I like that. And they're going to go and they're going to throw all this stuff into a file and they're going to save it and they're going to cut it next week. Ding, ding, ding. Nope. Next week it's going to prompt you to pay for that image. But this week it is free. So if you're going to do it and put it together next week, you need to cut it all this week, or you're going to have to pay for it. Yes, Jamie, that's right. As long as you log in with that other email, you can use them. But you can't use them on a new email. So that's where you're going to find all your free for the week, right here in categories. The most popular images being cut, you're going to find those in there, or your most popular. And then you're going to find cartridges. And again, everything with a green A is included in access. And right here you can see it says free. This is the free for the week. 100 Days of School is free this week. So it's saying free. Next week it's not going to say free. This one says purchase. That means I own it. So even if I quit access, even though it's in access, if I discontinue my subscription, I still have this one. If you don't own it, my window's too short, something? It's supposed to say purchase out here. Do I have a filter on? Nope. Oh, I'm subscribed. I don't know why it's not saying purchase, but usually it says purchased out there. Do I have something off, Jamie? I don't know why it's saying that. I don't own it. I own that one. I know I own that one, and I own that one. That one's purchased. I don't think I think it's just not loading. I think it's slow. But if you open yours up, you're going to see you can purchase it. You can click on it and purchase it. Different things like that. Might be because I have some of this stuff in here. I don't know. I know I don't own that one. But it's in Access. Maybe that's why. Let's see. I want to make sure that you guys get all the questions answered. I'm trying to find one. There it goes. It's because I have Access. Okay. Right here, I don't own this one, and it is not in Access. So if I want to buy it, I got to click on it, and I can buy the cartridge right here. Not everything in here will be found on Cricut.com, and not everything on Cricut.com will be found over here. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. But you can see, if you don't own it, it's going to have prices on it. So that covers your images. That's all the images in Design Space, from single images into categories and into cartridges. Okay? And you can go through here and look. You've got birthday, you've got Christmas, Cinco de Mayo, and this is where they have sorted things out for you guys. Flourishes and shapes. So if you're looking for a flourish, and there's nothing in there, but they're working on it. It improves all the time. What are the cartridges that have the Cricut Cutie symbol? Good question. So let's go over to cartridges and let's type in Cricut. And there he is right there. Cricut Cuties cartridge. There are 9 images in there. And if you click on it, it shows you all the images. But that's the name of the cartridge. Cricut Cutie. So then you have text. Okay? Text, you're going to come in, and we are just going to cover what's on this bar tonight, guys. And then next week we're going to pick up with the toolbars that go with those. So here is where you're going to type in your text. And then on your toolbar is where you select all of the goodies that go with it. And we'll get into that more next week. But this is where you select and type in your text. Then you have shapes. Shapes are free to use, and you can design just about any image that you want from basic shapes, from a coffee mug to an oval, or I forgot what that somebody asked me. I call it an oval. Let's duplicate that circle. If I take those two and a square and align them vertically centered and I weld them, I now have a brand new shape. So you can create just about anything you want from those shapes in Shapes for free. And then we have our upload. Upload is where we upload our images, and you can upload an image. I'm just gonna drag something over. You can drag and drop, or you can browse your computer, and then you're going to upload. I do have a separate video on uploading. We will get into more of the uploading next week and the differences and how to do it. So you can come in and you can play around with it. If you get this screen right here, it is not an SVG. It is one single simple layer photograph or a PNG. It is not an SVG. I have to save it as a print and cut. We will get more into these things later, why I'm selecting complex. We'll go into that next week. This is where you clean it up, and you're going to save that. You can see if I save it as a cut image, I'm saving a rectangle, and if I save it as a print and cut, I'm saving all the nice pretty colors. And then you will select it You see it's got the green box around it. It's down here by my insert images, and I can bring that into my design. And that's how easy it is to upload into Design Space. It is that easy and that simple. Let me see if I can find an SVG to show you the difference on that screen, and then we will make our card, and next week we'll pick up with the toolbars across the top and how they work and how they function. Until then, you guys have a cheat sheet, okay? And I'm going to bring this cheat sheet in as a, no, I'm not, because that's not. I have this in the groups. You can download it. It's there for you until we get through there, but it's going to tell you all of the stuff that the toolbar up at top does, so you can use that to help you until we cover it. Let me see if I have an SVG in here. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. And I'm going to click upload, upload image, and I am going to drag in my SVG, and you notice that it is telling me to name and tag. It didn't ask me to clean up anything at all. That's an SVG. So I'm going to save it, name it, tag it, save it, and then you can insert it. That's how easy it is, and it's saying that it's a large image, and it is. And you can see why. It's all in pieces. It's a really big SVG. But you see how this is one layer? We're going to pretend that that was my sign. One layer right here. And then look at all of those layers. And I'm going to ungroup. And I'm going to hide that big piece. But you can see all of those pieces are just single pieces in there. And so that it will load better when I open up my project, I'm going to weld those together so they don't get moved around. And that's going to make them all go to one single little layer. Supposedly. I got some stragglers somewhere. Oh, let me delete that. Select all. Attach. Must be a score line or something. Cut line. I'll have to look at it, but that's one I got from somewhere, so I have to look at it and figure out what's wrong with it. But that is how you upload an SVG. And then there's one more upload, and that's going to be your patterns. And this is where you upload patterns. So you have something, you click on it. Let's see. Let me see if I have something handy here. I do. Well, that's an SVG. Give me 1 second, guys. I thought I had a pattern here. I'm searching on my computer for a photo or anything. That'll work. Our card tonight is really quick and simple and easy. We're going to put that together. Okay, here's me a flower. I am going to download that image. Okay, I've downloaded my image that I found on the internet, and I want to use it for an image or a pattern. So I've selected pattern. Let me just go back to upload. When you go to upload, you want to select up here on the right, pattern fill, upload, and then you're going to bring in your photo, be it a person, an object, whatever, and then you're going to name it and tag it. I'm just going to say pink flower. I don't really even know what it is. And then you're going to pick, it's not animal and wildlife, boo. Let's see. Nature. I can do miscellaneous. Maybe wedding, you know, if it's the right color. Spring. Whatever you want to name it. Then you want to pick your color and you want to pick what it is here. I'm just going to say contemporary, and I'm going to click save. Once you do that, you see it went right back to the other screen, but I got a blue bar. Pattern uploaded successfully. You're not going to see it here because it's not here. It's in Design Space. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to get rid of that. And let's just bring in a heart. And I'm going to make this where you guys can see it. And we will go into more about using these later, but I'm just going to show you guys where it is. I want print. And then I'm going to go to advanced. No, there it is. Pattern. And there's my pattern right there. Now that I have several in here, we're not going to go through all of them, but you're going to select your pattern at that point, and that is going to put it into your shape. And then you can always go in and edit the pattern and use your filter and make it look pretty, which we will go over more later. But just so you see, that's where your patterns go to. So now we have covered all of the new setup machine and everything on the left hand side, all of your commands, which I'm sorry, not your commands, but your toolbar of your templates, your projects, your images, your text, your shapes, and uploading. Next week we are going to cover the rest of Design Space up here and the toolbars and what those toolbars do for each one of your text, your images, your uploads, all of that. We're going to cover all of those next week. Yeah, thank you, Pat. I'm glad you guys like the cheat sheet. So, guys, go, especially if you're new, and play with the new tools that you learned. Go ahead and play with these tools up here, even though we haven't covered them. Get familiar with them. We will clear up if you don't understand what they're doing and how to use them. We're going to clear all that up. So go in there and don't be scared to play. You're not going to hurt anything. If you have a question, use your text. Type that question in there so next week when we come back you don't forget what your question was, and you can even screenshot it and send it to me on Messenger and show me, and we can cover it. So, is everybody with us? Everybody understand? Anybody have any questions on what we've covered so far tonight? Yay! Casella, she subscribed. Thank you. So let's go over to the card, and we'll put this little card together real quick. And this is just a little Thanksgiving card or thankful card. I'm calling this the Patchwork Pumpkin card. Hopefully you guys can see. I don't want that glare of that lamp to hit you, but I want you to be able to see. There we go. So just different textures and elements and different things that we used. The file is available to Ko-fi and Patreon supporters. It is uploaded on craftingwithapril.co. So if you need it, it is there. Or you can create your own, because by the time we're through next week, you will know exactly how to create this card in Design Space to make it. So I've got all my little stuff here, and I did use some Distress ink. I used some Nuvo drops. Guys, you can get these from scrapbook.com and Blitsy. The links are in the description of the video below. Amazon as well. Art Glitter Glue you can get from artglitter.com. They are not an affiliate, but best glue around. And then I've just got some twine and some daubers. I get these daubers for my ink at scrapbook.com. They come in a tray pack. Twine you can get at just any of the hobby stores. And I have a button. I got a button. Flower tools. I get these. These are the McGill flower tools. I got this at Amazon. They have several different ones. Just make sure that it's good and sturdy. You don't want one that will break on you. So we're going to start, And I'm just going to set my card base. I'm just going to go ahead and fold that on its score line. And I've lost my bone folder. There it is. So just going to give that a press down and set it to the side. And all my little bitty pieces. Now I used the frayed burlap Distress Ink Tim Holtz Ranger, and I just went around the edge. You can do this with a Crayola marker, your Copic markers, whatever you want. And because this is a white edge, this is Stampin' Up! And it's pattern. Most of your pattern paper is going to have a white edge on it. I don't like that white edge to show, so I'm just covering it with some ink. And that's all I really basically did to that one. And I did nothing to my thankful. I wanted it to be plain. You can take your dauber and set this one to the side. I just want to make sure it's dry before I put it on that white card. And then just dab on your ink pad. And we're going to be inking the edges. That's what people mean when they say you ink the edges. You're going to start off the edge, and I've got a piece of paper here. You can use your Teflon sheet. And then you're just going to go through and rub and get as much or as little ink as you want on the edges of the card. Okay? And then I just went around. And you, like I said, as much or as little as you want. Now I'm not going to ink this whole entire card for time reasons, but I just wanted you guys to see how that technique is done. And you can see when you take your time and go slow, you're going to have lighter areas and darker areas, and that's what's going to make this card look vintage. And if you mess up, flip it over, do the other side. But practice. You can practice with some scrap papers and get that same look. See, I got a little dark there. But we all know paper doesn't age the same. So, got that inked up. Of course, it's not very good, but got it inked. And we're going to glue that to the front of our panel. And this is Stampin' Up! Leaves. I don't know if it's still available. Amanda, if you're here, or any of our Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, if you're here, you can tell us if this paper's still available. So now I have my panel, and I'm going to place that on my card, and I've left it blank inside. You can have your Cricut right inside, or you can, and this is the back side of that paper, that's the Stampin' Up! Leaves paper, and I use the more solid piece on the back. And then this is going to go onto, we're just going to set that to the side to dry, and we're going to work on these pieces. Now I did, this is a score in the file, I believe. I think I left it in there so you could cut it as well, because it's easier to put your pumpkin back together if you have a template to go by. So it's in there, and then I scored, this one isn't, but then the front of this panel does score, so it gives you placement for those of you who aren't used to placing. And I did ink the edges of my pieces. And this is the one that's got pumpkin pie and apple cider, and it doesn't have it on the back. This is from Hobby Lobby, guys. All of these little pattern papers are from Hobby Lobby. Oops, I've done that. So I did ink all the edges of that. This is the plaid papers. Let me see. These are Authentique brand from Hobby Lobby, and they're in the plain paper sections. They had the plaid, the dots, the leaves. The leaves is Paper Studio. But just papers, just out of the loose paper aisle. Not a stack or anything. And I chose this color ink because I just wanted it to be subtle. A subtle aged look instead of completely covering. And you can see how I'm toning down the cream color and the brightness of that. That's basically all I'm doing. And then for the burlap, I did the same, just on the edges. And if you want it darker, you can always make it darker. There is a bow in there for you guys who want a bow instead of using twine. I'm just going to set that to the side. I did ink the stem up just to dirty it up a little bit. And then I really dirtied up the stem piece. And I took my flower tool after I did it. And this is the really thin end of the flower tool. And I just really just kind of scraped up randomly on the middle. And then I inked it again. Just to give that stem some texture into it, which you can see here. And that's all I did to it. There's a little teeny tiny button I just dropped that's cut into the file in case you don't have a button. And that's all you do for the inking. Then we're just going to start putting it together onto the pumpkin base. I'll make sure that it is in the file, guys. If it's not, I apologize. I thought I left it in there. You do want to get it on there. Right. So then we've got that piece on. And it's basically like putting a puzzle back together. I'm a messy gluer, but you guys know that already. And you could even use your perforation tool on these guys and make them rip off the top and all sorts of stuff. This burlap I got from Joann's. Comes in a pack like this, die cuts with a view. You can do the sunflowers and stuff like that out of them. They give you the pattern on the back. I do cut this with my rotary blade. If you're going to be cutting this on an Explore Air, I would suggest use a strong grip mat, place the burlap to the mat, tape it down, and then cut it that way, rather than, I could move this out of the way so you guys can see. But it cuts perfectly with your rotary blade. And I don't know how I got off. I got off just a little bit right there. I'm just going to trim that off with my scissors. It may, the little pumpkin guide may be off here because I deleted it before I realized I needed it, and I had made it with 3 ovals. So you can make yours. I'm going to put this one together maybe just a little bit differently. I think I'm going to put, let's see, how do I want to lay that out? Just play with it, guys. I think I want to I like that too. I think I like the other way better though. So I am going to go with the same way I did the other one. I did pop dot this piece up. For you guys who don't know what that is, it's foam squares or circles that you can use to raise it up off the card. And you can watch me fight with peeling them. I always do. I will be going to the meet and greet with Cricut in Atlanta Wednesday, guys. Okay, Debbie, you have a great one. I'm going to slide that over so you guys give me just a second. I can't see chat where it was at. I'm going to move you guys over here in the same room with me. Yes, Kim, good reminder. Mobile does not have patterns. You can upload SVGs, but you need iZip on Apple device. I'm not sure about Android. I think that Catherine has that info. You went to the one in DC, Sheila? I wish that I had the Mountain Make-a-thon. I had a blast with Sheila in the classes, guys. She's a hoot. Stick my stem in there. And then my thankful. Now you can run this through your Xyron machines, your creative stations, and make a sticker out of it. You can get these on Amazon and scrapbook.com too. But I'm not going to take the time to sit there and fiddle with all the little intricate holes and stuff to make sure I've got all the sticky out of them. I prefer using that for solid images. I don't like it for intricate, but a lot of people do. Whatever you like, can glue this on anyway. Any direction, anywhere on the card you want it. I kind of made mine because it was intricate. I could follow my pumpkin around instead of putting it on there straight. How cute is that? And now we need to put on our Nuvo drops. And these are just kind of like glitter drops for anybody that hasn't used them before. Or you can use pearls, whatever you want to embellish with. I just like Nuvo drops because I can control how big my dots are. These are the vintage drops. They will dry matte in color. They are about the same as what they go on. Very little difference in shading when they're dry. And I just made a mess of that one. Do as I say, not as I do. Not sure how I did that. Haven't done that in ages. Practice with them before you put them on paper so you can control how they come out. I'm going to set that to the side to dry. And then my button. I just took some of the twine and took off a piece. And then I put it through the back of the button. On both sides. Just like so, and then tied my half knot like you would when you're tying a shoe. And then I did a double bow. or a butterfly bow, whatever. I don't know what, I call it a butterfly bow. I don't know what anybody else calls it, but I tie a bow and then I tie another bow. If I can get a hold of it. It's curly and it doesn't want to play fair. And then I just play with it. That's about right. And then I tie the second loop. Get in there. And then size that one up. And then I just trim off the tails. It's like so. And you can see why I call it the butterfly bow. Kind of looks like a butterfly when you're done. And then I put a generous amount of art glitter glue, and yes, art glitter glue will hold it onto that bow. And stuck it right down on the stem. And then if your pieces aren't going the way that you want them, this one did not, it wasn't laying like I wanted it to, a small little dab, I mean just a teeny tiny dab of art glitter glue, and hold it for a second and it will stay. That's way too much, but I got it anyway. And it's done, guys. There you go. Thank you, Sheila. I gotta go get them done tomorrow. I've had these done about 3 weeks ago. Oh no. I didn't hear about that one, Pat. I hope everybody was okay. All right. Has anybody got any questions? Anything that you need answered? Any projects that you're having an issue with? I know tonight was a long video, but learning design space takes time, and I didn't want to leave anything out. We will finish covering it next week, and answering questions that anybody has. All right, if nobody has any questions, I thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, Patreons. Thank you, Ko-fi supporters. Thank you, moderators. Couldn't do it without any of you guys. You guys are awesome. Show me your version. Cut with some different papers. Cut with the same papers. Doesn't matter if you want to copy this one exactly to the T, do that. Like I said, Cricut, Stampin' Up, Hobby Lobby. I like to do a mixture. It's all different mixed medias by using the buttons and your Nuvo drops and your inks. Dress those cards up. You can emboss your papers or deboss your papers before you put them on. You guys have the maker with the new tools. This would be really pretty instead of a vintage style in a foil, and glitters would be pretty. Oh, thanks, Susan. I try to make sure that I get everybody covered and that everybody understands. I don't want to ever leave anybody behind. So if you don't get something when I'm teaching, please stop me. I will go over it until everybody has it. Oh, you're welcome, Roseanne. Thanks, Judy. I appreciate all you guys. I will see you guys on Saturday. Is it this Saturday? No, next Saturday. Let me bring the calendar up for you guys and switch over so we can make sure that everybody is on the same page. Let's see. That's the 2nd, the 24th. Okay, so I will see you guys on the 19th. August the 19th we have a live. Then on the 24th at noon. This is the noon day. The 3rd Saturday of the month we do noon. The 2nd Saturday in the month we do 10 a.m. And all the Mondays are at 7 p.m. So we will finish up Design Space on the 19th. That tutorial, I will have some kind of small project that we can do as well. We may even make the project that we're doing in Design Space for our lessons. That might help a lot of you guys out as well. We're also going to cover loading the mat in the machine, print and cut, everything. So, and if we feel the need, we'll divide it up into two more weeks, but I think we can cover it all by next week. Happy birthday, Louise, and I will see all of you guys next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Y'all have a great night.